Something that was brought up not too long ago on Tumblr while I was watching some of my fandom blogs was that someone said they didn't like the song Savages from Pocahontas. And let's face it, Pocahontas has a lot of problems going for it. It's still a beloved classic, but there are so many historical inaccuracies and some POC wincing. But I'll just take on this one problem. In the song Savages, if you recall, both sides, the angry Indians and the angry white men, are planning to go to war, calling each other savages. The point of the song is to show how bad hatred can escalate on both sides. Unfortunately, there's a problem here, and after a while I finally understood it. And it's something kind of relevant to today, too. When you have people saying, I don't see color, or why can't white women and black women just get along, we all have the same struggle, you're kind of glancing away from the real problem. The problem is that white people don't have the same troubles as people of color do. They never have, and they never will. So you can't really equate the two. When the song Savages is sung, it's supposed to look like something on equal terms, but it isn't. The Indians didn't really do anything wrong. They were just living peacefully, and they had every right to be suspicious and angry of these white invaders taking over their land. Much the same way, people of color have every right to be suspicious of white people. Let's face it, white people, we suck. We've sucked a long time, and we will continue to suck. So the problem is, in the song, it's not equal, and it really shouldn't have been treated as equal. The problems that were there were because of the white guys. It's still given a classic Disney happily ever after, and I don't think the sequels really solve the problem either. I admit I've not seen the Pocahontas sequel, but nothing about it, anything I've heard about it really just turns me off. That's just why I've delayed seeing it. Probably should someday just to get over that hurdle. But getting back to the point, when you rewatch Pocahontas, you should really take notice of all the inaccuracies, of all the unequalness, I guess to say. And when stuff is forced to be equal, but when it really, really isn't. There is no white struggle that could compare to people of color and their struggles. And I'll just come out and say it, reverse racism, racism to whites, does not exist. People can be prejudiced to white people, but that's not the same as racism, because racism is a system. It's a system that pushes down on people of color and will continue to abuse them. I understand this might be difficult for a few people to understand. So I encourage you to do your research to find smarter people and smarter blogs, because I'm really not the person to educate others, honestly, because I'm pretty dumb myself. It took me a long time to realize these obvious facts. Facts that seem obvious now. So, I don't know if this is a short video. Again, I don't have a timer. So I just want to wrap it up before I ramble on too much. Savages is a great song, and it still gets cut in my head occasionally. But the underlying message doesn't work. There was no equality of hate. One heavily outweighed the other, and one had all the good reason to be angry and to hate. It just didn't even out. It didn't work out. And it won't work out if it's addressed again that same way in the future. I'm glad that in Princess and the Frog, which was another racial attempt, didn't show the same problem. It didn't try to equate any of Tiana's problems as the same as Lottie's. It was made obvious that she struggled a lot more I mean, not just in a but in class and all that. And if Disney does eventually make another racially different movie, I hope they keep this in mind, that any problems a white person will go through can never and will never equate the problems or anger a person of color does, because it is not the same, and it never will be the same. I feel kind of bad going on this because issues of color and racism are not something I feel entirely confident on going on, because I am a white person. And as myself, as Melissa, I don't know how much I can change, or how much I can change the system. I can only hope that by speaking out against it, I am at least doing something. I'm at least pointing out the real savageness.